Hello, everyone. The morning is here. A beautiful Monday morning. Welcome to the Disney Morning Show. I am Kyle. I am the editor at Laughing Place, and we got Luke with me today. Hello, Luke.
Hello, it's Luke with you here today, and we're saying hello to so many people right now.
Let's
Fred
do it.
Ramirez,
Aloha.
aloha.
He might be saying goodbye. I don't know which.
That's very true. Just getting ahead of himself. Geo, happy Monday fun day. Click that likey button. Go ahead and do that. Hi to Caitlin and hi to Genie Plus Plus.
Hello. Well, we're going to get started the same way we start every one of these shows, which is with the stock price. And as we do that, I realized that I did not set this up properly. So here we go. I'm going to click this. Oh, Luke's still here. I thought I was going to drop you, but I can pull this.
No, I'm still here.
That's good. On whatever day we did, Friday, it was at 112.36, currently slightly up, but it was even higher earlier. So let's refresh and see. Went down a couple more cents, but still pretty close, about up 10 cents since the last time we checked on it. But it's still way up from the 80s or whatever we were seeing not too long ago. I have some bad news, Luke. Would you like to hear it?
Oh no, what's the bad news?
The bad news is, unfortunately, Ethan had a busy morning, so he is not with us this morning. So we're going to head right into what's happening.
I can tell you that it is pretty gloomy here in Florida. So
I'd imagine, yeah, I think hot and humid is pretty safe thing to go. Anaheim,
yeah.
I think Anaheim's actually, it was over the weekend. It was hot. It went from like nice 70s up to like the 80s.
Fred is asking if I've seen Lilo and Stitch and what did I think. No, I have not seen Lilo and Stitch, so I cannot comment on what I
I was
think.
going to say, if you have, we're going to save that for a live review since we don't have any reviews today.
Yeah, also, not that interested in it, honestly.
It happens.
Post-review.
What you are interested in is this new lounge at Epcot.
Oh, yeah, I'm so interested in this. Geo82, not named after Geo in the audience, unfortunately, but rather the geodesic sphere that is Spaceship Earth. And this is a
And you're
brand
telling
new
me this
lounge.
isn't the GRU logo?
It does look like it. I could just picture a minion popping up from behind it. It looks like the GRU logo had a baby with the like Cyberdyne logo from Terminator 2 3D, which is funny because one replaced the other at Universal. Anyway, I'm rambling. Geo82 is located in what was the former sponsor lounge for Siemens and AT&T back in the day, behind Spaceship Earth, which means it has an incredible vista of the World Celebration area and then World Showcase off in the distance. And they did a really good job at the interior of it. I mean, that like little hallway with the Spaceship Earth geodesic tiles leading up to it. The bar area looks really nice. I'm sure this is going to be a very popular place. I know reservations went very quickly for it. And I'm sure you can, find the odd one here and there, but it's going to be tough to get in there for a while. But it opens in just 2 days on June 4th.
You can check out our video of it. I will say the hardest part I had of editing this was actually making the thumbnail because the way the logo is designed, the tools that we use to try to remove the background have a really hard time with that center section. So, several tries later, I finally got it to work and I was able to do this. So, yeah, Tony got a chance to preview the lounge and walked through it and shot some different B-roll. As you can see, other vloggers were there as well. He was not alone. But,
yeah, just a few of them.
Some nice glassware, and it's also cool they stamp that Spaceship Earth logo onto the ice. But yeah, looking out is nice. Also, if you've ever taken your photo with Walt, that building that you see the windows in the background, that's what this is. The new Walt statue that's been there for like a year or two.
Yeah, this is going to be such a perfect place to, especially on, like you can kind of see there, it's looking like a bit of a storm. It looks like a bit of a stormy day. And, with Communicore Hall currently being Goofy Core, and that doesn't really seem like a good place to relax this it seems like a very nice alternative, and it looks like there's a lot of seating too. So maybe walk-ups will be an option.
And yes, it is funny that they're opening a 21 and only lounge during Cool Kid Summer. Coincidence?
Yes.
I think not. Also at Walt Disney World, there was a little bit of an update to the trams. I can't tell you the last time I've ridden a tram in either Coast Disney park, but now there's a pre-recorded safety spiel that happens beforehand. Used to be done by the cast members. Cast members do still talk on the way to the location, but this kind of plays like as it pulls up, it sounds like. And the funniest line, which I guess you said that they've been reading, but is now in recorded form, is that there's no weapons of any kind, including firearms, knives, or selfie sticks.
Yeah.
It's slightly different than that. They do separate selfie sticks out, but it sounds like they're calling a selfie stick a weapon, and it's funny to me. So
yeah,
check that out in your next after you park and ride over to the gates of the parks.
Just like you, there's a good chance that I might have. I mean, I live in Florida, but there's a good chance the last time I went on a tram might have been at Disneyland, just because I never used them at Disney World, because I'm young and I got long legs,
I've
so I like to
never
walk.
used. I rarely use them at Disneyland. Once, well, I used to say I used to always use them. I just do what you do. You park and then you get on the tram. Once I learned that there was a path to not to do that and skip that, and then especially once I learned that there was an even better path to walk. It's a little further, but you walk through downtown Disney instead of having to wait for that long light to cross whatever street that is. Then that's when I would just always walk. And once they
Well,
had
I mean,
the doors were the last straw for me for some reason.
that path isn't really even a thing anymore because now you have that bridge that takes
Right.
you straight across. So it's
Yeah, I
even
love it
easier.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it even more now. But yes, I've been off trams for a while, but
We're sticking around at the Disneyland
speaking of
Resort.
long legs and short arms.
I got a big head and little arms, and I don't know if this plan was thought through. Not the right dinosaur, but you can meet a different dinosaur, and that is Rex from Toy Story over in Pixar Pier. This was something that was announced earlier this year. They said he'd be coming on June 1st, and would you believe it? He showed up.
I did
on
appreciate
June
that in your headline. You're like, let
1st.
me see exactly what it said. As scheduled.
Yes, as scheduled.
We forget these things sometimes.
I thought that he had already been there and he was coming back. So it was a good reminder for me too. But yes, for a limited time, you can meet Rex from Toy Story on Pixar Pier at Disney California Adventure.
Well, that's a little bit of a blast from the past. And you know what else is? There's a new season of King of the Hill coming, and check this out. They've released a new opening segment, which I'll show. But yeah, you get to see grown-up Bobby Hill. Peggy looks a little older. Hank looks pretty much the same, but also a bit older. Their 14th season is coming to Hulu soon, but I thought I'm going to mute it because of the music. But it does sound maybe a little bit different. I think it's the same Refreshments version. It might be Roger Clyde, the Peacemakers. I'll have to find out. They're both bands from Tempe, Arizona, so that's why.
I was going to say all of that just flew right over my head.
But yeah, same style, but you see the whole story of what's happened to the hills in between. They left Arlen, and now they're coming back. And yes, Bobby's living with them, although he's supposed to. He's like a chef or something now. But
yeah, King of the Hill was one I never really got into. I was into The Simpsons for a little while. Family Guy, I've always been into, but
it's one of those that when you're younger, I don't think you appreciate as much like The Simpsons. But revisiting it, you realize like how funny it actually is,
which makes sense.
I think it's worth a shot if you had any affinity for it. Like if you liked it even a little bit, I think you'd appreciate it more now. And I'm looking forward to checking it out again. But the new season, there's going to be 10 episodes, and it kicks off on Hulu on August 4th. So just a couple of months away.
One day before my birthday.
And while we're talking animated reboots, Luke.
Yeah, I guess it's the year of animated reboots, but this one is instead a quote unquote kid show that appeals quite strongly to adults. And that is Phineas and Ferb, which is coming back in also just a couple of days, I believe. I think the first set of episodes will be dropping on June 5th on Disney
Gonna say, I'm
Channel.
sure it says somewhere in this
Yeah,
article.
I hope so. Otherwise, I'm not doing my job right.
June 5th.
June 5th with 10 episodes the next day on Disney Plus. But yes, they held the red carpet premiere in Hollywood. A lot of the cast members were there. So Ashley Tisdale, Vincent Martella, Allison Stoner, of course, the two co-creators of the show, Dan Povenmire and Jeff Swampy Marsh. They showed up. They were performing some of the songs from the film, or from the series rather. I put together a little video showcasing some of the interviews that they got sent our way and some of the clips from the performances. Really fun time, and I'm excited to check out Phineas and Ferb when it comes back in just a couple of days.
We'll talk about it a little bit more later during Around LP, but we had an interview with Vincent on this week's LP On Balance podcast. And that was the first time I realized, because I'd never really seen him. I can tell now, but I didn't realize that Vincent was also on Everybody Hates Chris, and he's a voice on Everybody Still Hates Chris. So Alex brings up with him, oh, it's kind of funny. In this year, 2 shows from your childhood that you did, not super young, but are coming back, because Everybody Still Hates Chris is an animated show, whereas the original was a live action. So he was a kid on that, and now he does a bunch of voices on the animated show, which is pretty cool.
Totally forgot that was a thing too.
Yes, and even more animation, but this is a throwback, not a reboot. Disney Plus has just launched their latest always on channel. This is a animated rewind nonstop playlist. It includes such shows as Iron Man Armored Adventures, The Fantastic Four, Spider-Man the Animated Series, X-Men the Animated Series, and more. So if you're a fan of those Saturday morning cartoon Marvel shows, now you can watch them with whatever shuffle feature that they use for that. And speaking of Fantastic Four, I don't even have a link for this yet because I forgot to add it. So I will pull that up. But Fantastic Four, First Steps, is coming out soon. And ahead of that, we're getting some fun tie-ins as they check out these Pop-Tarts, Luke. How cool are these?
Yeah, they're cool.
I don't know if it's just this flavor. This is like a blue raspberry flavor, but it's
blue raspberry exclusively in Walmart. And then you can get it in frosted strawberry and other retailers.
Okay. Very cool. I don't know if I ever had blue raspberry flavor Pop-Tart, but now I kind of want to. But strawberry is good too. But yeah, I love the art on these. I'd be curious to know how good the art actually looks on the actual Pop-Tarts, but I love this idea. But on top of that, General Mills, which is not the same company as Pop-Tarts, in case you're wondering, they're also going to have some throwback style. Yeah, because Reese's Puff was around in the 60s, so we got to but no, these are somewhat retro inspired. They're not authentic. And they feature the Fantastic Four, although Fantastic Four takes place in an alternate universe. So you could say maybe these are throwbacks to what they looked like in the alternate universe where Reese's Puffs did exist in the 60s.
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, these are available everywhere. The General Mills?
Yeah, so those are available everywhere. And then there's a couple of special ones which are available at specific stores. Let me bring up the article so I can tell you.
Oh, I have it right here. But
okay. Yeah, so it says so it's
some exclusive tricks will be featuring Herbie will be at Kroger, Cocoa Puffs featuring Galactus at Walmart's. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they didn't share photos of those ones, but I'm sure you'll find them very soon at your local Walmart or Kroger.
I have a Walmart market across the street from my house, so we will be checking there often. But in the meantime, let's check out our Disney Plus top 10, since I hope Fred Ramirez is out there. I'm not looking at the comments at the moment.
Yeah, he's excited by Marvel stuff.
There you go. Me too. And speaking of Marvel, number 1, Captain America Brave New World. Lilo and Stitch still heavily represented with the first movie and the second movie, Stitch Has a Glitch. Alvin and the Chipmunks, Stitch the movie, Leroy and Stitch, the Squeakquel, making it into the top 10. Devil Wears Prada. People still watching the Thunderbolt special look, waiting for that movie to show up on Disney Plus after Brave New World debuted. And then finally, Rogue One, which I will see after we finish Andor. We did make progress. We watched one more episode of Andor over the weekend.
Oh, one more
So we will get there.
You're
Of course,
getting there.
it's the one show that has like 12 episodes instead of 8 or 10. So
and they're all they're all at least like 45, 50 minutes too.
Yes. There's one that was a little short, and then I was like, oh, maybe this is going to be a trend. No, it was not.
Nope.
Luke, over the weekend, big news in your world as our designated Doctor Who fan. Tell us. I don't know if Gio had a chance to do it yet. Well, sorry, Gio. This is already a spoiler if you know anything about this.
No, he said, I'm sure Ethan is still recovering from that Doctor Who finale.
Okay,
that
good.
was crazy.
Last I checked, I know he wasn't going to get a chance to watch it on Saturday, so I'm glad because I don't know. Use your best judgment. Tell me about this show.
Yeah, so as you can tell here by the photo, if you're a fan of Doctor Who,
right? I was like, we're not going to use spoilers. Oh wait, I already spoiled.
Ncuti Gatwa, who plays the was the current incarnation of the Doctor, the 15th Doctor, has regenerated, something that was heavily rumored and expected to some degree, but we really weren't sure if it was going to happen until the episode. And he has regenerated into a familiar face, which I will call a spoiler, and we talk a little bit more about in the article, so we won't necessarily reveal that here. But I have some thoughts on the state of Doctor Who in general right now, which I did share in an article about his about the finale, how things were tied up, how things weren't tied up, and kind of what's going on in the future. Because at the moment, we don't know if Disney Plus is going to renew their deal with the BBC to continue co-producing Doctor Who. And I'm just kind of looking for, this is what I said at the end of my article, just kind of looking for certainty at this point. I want to know, even if it's 2 years off, I want to know what's happening.
And because Doctor Who is a sci-fi show, just because you think you understand what you're seeing, it might not be the full story. So because you don't really get the full context, it makes your nomenclature very difficult, I'm sure, when trying to write an article like this.
Yeah, no, it is difficult, especially that there are things that are revealed and things that necessarily aren't revealed about the revelation. So it's like, well, is this person who we think this person is?
And if that person is who that person is, are they the title that we think they are?
Or are they something different? There's so much, and we honestly don't know. So,
exactly. If you're curious, you could check out Luke's both articles, the recap of the episode itself, as well as his thoughts and feelings about what we know, what we don't know. Both articles available now on Laughing Place.
And if you haven't already, watch the season. Let's get those numbers up.
You felt very good about it. You said some of the best string of episodes.
Yeah, definitely until the finale. Yeah, the finale was good, but it didn't live up to many of the things set up earlier in the season. So
yeah. Well,
Gio understands Doctor Who better than Kingdom Hearts, which I wholeheartedly agree with.
My favorite is just pulling out, well, he's actually the 16th Doctor because of the War Doctor, so he's the 15th Doctor, but really, we all know.
Yeah. He said it was
I've
a great
seen one
season.
episode of Doctor Who, and it's the Day of the Doctor, so I just get to pull that out, actually style.
It's your actually knowledge. And Gio said it was a great season and a fun finale, which
speaking of fun, as you heard us talk about multiple times last week, the Savannah Bananas took over Disneyland, and Rebecca wrote about her experience and just why it was so special, both for the team and the people there, and just shared why she had such a great time seeing the team at Disneyland. So you can be sure to check that out on Laughing Place. Next up, by the way, big big around LP today. But Alex was at the Austin Television Festival or ATX Festival. That's the wrong article. The ATX Festival in Austin. And he had lots of coverage. There was the King of the Hill panel. There was also some
Reasonable Doubt, I think. That sounds right.
Yep, there was a
Yes.
Bill Lawrence and Friends where they talked a little bit about the Scrubs revival. You can see Zach Braff there, as well as Roy Kent. Roy, is that his name?
That's
Anyway.
the character's name.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I know it's the character's
Brett
name.
Goldstein.
Yes. Which is what I meant to say. I wanted to say Roy Kent. I was just making sure that was the right name, and I had this in my head, and then I can't sing the song out loud, so it's very confusing. But yes, so plenty of coverage from the ATX, including the Andor panel and all of that. So another reason why you should be checking out laughingplace.com. Why don't you have a bookmark? Why aren't you visiting it right now while you're watching this show? You got multiple windows, don't you?
So many ways.
Exactly. Our latest episode of Laughing Place on Location, starring Jeremiah this time at Cool Kid Summer, because he's the coolest kid we know. Going around showing you all of that from Walt Disney World, including you can also watch past episodes. And we did several walk and talks last week that you can go back and watch as well. Then On Balance, as I promised, we have a brand new episode of the Laughing Place On Balance podcast this week. Our interview is not with me or Benji. Alex joined to interview Vincent Martella, the voice of Phineas on Phineas and Ferb. But if you're not familiar, each of us do an essay. Benji's essay was about Disney getting back on the treadmill, as it were. And I talked about movie theater merchandising, like all the popcorn buckets we've been seeing. But we also talk about the Disney news and then the interview with Vincent. So be sure to listen to that wherever you get your podcasts. And finally, Benji did a written version of that article that I was just telling of the essay I was just telling you about Disney getting back on the treadmill. So of course I used the hollow tile treadmill for my featured image. So you
Zach
can see
Ridley would be proud.
Thank you.
Yes.
But yeah, you can read his written take and then you can listen to the audio version. There you go.
So many ways to experience Laughing Place.
Exactly.
And the rest.
Well, today's And the Rest is dedicated to Universal Studios.
It really is.
First up, we learned that FanFest Nights, which they did this year, will be coming back in 2026. The page has been updated. We don't have dates or what franchises will be featured the next time around, but we do know that it'll be coming back, which I think is good news. I think it was overall really well received. We talked about how much better the price point is than at Disney. And some of these, you can check out some of the videos from this year's event. Yeah, I think it was a hit.
I went on the last night with Maxon, and we also met up with Mike at one point for a little bit. But yeah, it was really entertaining. Even though I don't know much about Star Trek or Dungeons and Dragons, I really enjoyed those two experiences.
Yeah. Gio also pointing out you can sign up for our newsletter and get a daily newsletter.
Sure can.
Advice. Go to laughingplace.com/newsletter.
Comes to your inbox every day at 4 p.m. Pacific.
Exactly. But Rip Ride Rocket, Rip Rip. Tell us why we're saying Rip Rip.
Rip Ride Rocket and the rest. So last year they announced that Rip Ride Rocket, which is a thrilling coaster that actually doesn't take you upside down, even though it kind of looks like it should, at Universal Studios Florida, would be closing. And now we know exactly when it would be closing. They previously said it would be closing in early September, but it will actually be closing a little bit earlier on August 18th, 2025. And what's coming next, we don't know. They're going to be tearing down this coaster. There are permits that have been filed regarding a potential path and new buildings that could be set up for the coaster in the future. Could it be something similar to the Fast and Furious coaster coming to Hollywood, or something completely brand new? We don't know, but what we do know is that you have until August 18th to experience this attraction one last time, and I will be sure to be heading over myself to check it out a couple of times.
I was going to say, what we know is that the coaster will be completely built before they tell us what it is.
Yes, and it might be Velocicoaster was a churro stand, so maybe this will be a pretzel stand.
And then they'll never let us forget that because everyone was acting like it's the funniest thing ever. But anyway, I accidentally skipped over this story. We got another update about Horror Nights.
Yeah, horror, as the fans of Five Nights at Freddy's will often go. Five Nights at Freddy's is coming to Halloween Horror Nights in a announcement that Universal made on Sunday evening. Kind of just out of the blue, not much
I
information.
think it was
to
related
it.
to, wasn't there some sort of like convention happening?
Oh, you're right. They did reveal
And
stuff
to announce
about.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Yeah,
I think that was the impetus because I was a little annoyed with
shared a
them.
couple of things. But yeah, it's coming. We don't really know much details just yet about what it exactly entails, but we do know it's coming to Universal Orlando and Universal Studios Hollywood. So that'll be coming your way this fall. I almost said holiday season. This fall, this spooky season.
Holiday season.
The fun stuff.
Luke, tell us about this fun stuff.
There's so many closures and it's all getting really sad. And someone that seems to be sad about that is Andrew Barth Feldman, who I believe was in that one movie with Jennifer Lawrence recently.
That movie with Jennifer Lawrence recently. No Hard Feelings.
Yes, No Hard Feelings. That's it. Anyway, he seems to have some hard feelings about the closure of Muppet Vision 3D and put together a whole music video, which he shot to an original song at Muppet Vision in Hollywood studios. And it's fun. You see this sort of thing sometimes from your generic Disney fans, but when it's someone that is an actor that has appeared in movies, it's fun to see them and realize they could be Disney fans too. I'm getting massive like Neil Patrick Harris
vibes. Yeah, I think that's probably apt. So yeah, you can check that out. I accidentally unmuted it on myself.
Wow, I like this comment. This is my favorite comment. First time seeing Luke on the channel. He's awesome. More Luke, please.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm gonna go to your head, buddy. 40 years of Disney Channel. We talked about voice actors earlier. I guess I could just show this video, but without the sound, which is kind of pointless, but I'll also do it anyway.
You know what? This was kind of a fun video to look through. There's a lot of big city greens in this. And
there's a lot of current shows, but there's some good throwback ones. They acknowledge the existence of the Weekenders, which I was very excited about because I love that show.
Things I remember: the Weekenders, American Dragon, Jake Long. There's a bit of Recess in here, Darkwing Duck, Gargoyles, and then some of your modern stuff like Kif and Elena of Avalor, DuckTales. So yeah, very cool.
There is some Big Hero 6 apparently.
Yeah, fun to put the voice to the name for a lot of the. I mean, Jim Cummings is kind of like an obvious one, so maybe bad timing for saying that. But some of these, like I didn't know Keith David was in Gargoyles, so I learned a couple of things from this.
Yeah, lots of super kitties. So yeah, definitely qualifies as fun stuff, and that's what this is all about.
When there's trouble, call DW.
And then a YouTuber who I'm not familiar with, but it apparently is very famous. Michelle Kerr, I assume that's how you say her name.
Yeah, I've never heard of her either.
I guess she does a series about Challenge Accepted series where she takes on different professions, and she got to try being an Imagineer and got to go to Imagineering. And yeah, we've seen not a lot, but we've seen a few people go to Imagineering YouTubers like MKBHD did a video, Mark Rober did a video, so I imagine it's in that vein. But you can check that
out. Her current the thumbnail there is a lot better than the previous one. I don't know if you saw it, but
there was an A/B test. I'm sure there's some A/B testing for sure. I'm glad that it defaulted to this one. Yeah, the one with the buzz eyeball.
It was a very odd buzz with like an eyeball popping out. It was weird.
Not a fan.
No.
Well, today's pocket pick, which I think is going to play immediately, which is why we're going to show this again for a second, comes from Geo. And I hope it doesn't get copyright struck, but check this out, and then I'll tell you what's happening. There's the.
Problem for our generation. Find a good way to spend it. Who's with us? Like maybe building a rocket or fighting a mummy or climbing up the Eiffel Tower. Discovering something that doesn't exist or getting a monkey a shower. Serpentine waves.
Anyway, you can watch the rest. But this is Jarrett Riddick. He's the singer for Bowling for Soup that does the Phineas and Ferb theme song and the hit
I would
1985.
not have figured that out.
Yeah. So he was on a Disney cruise and I guess rushed the stage when they, I guess, started playing this and decided to sing along. So yeah, pretty cool. Thank you for Gio for sending that in.
If they start singing your song, that seems like a fair thing to do.
Yeah. glad he did. But now it's time for your quiz, Luke. All right. On this day in 1972, an actor and performer was born. He, speaking of the Weekenders, sang the Weekenders theme. He also appeared on Whose Line Is It Anyway on ABC, and in a video that Disney Parks put up, he became a Dapper Dan for no reason. Also, had a freeform show. Yes, I like how the Dapper Dan part is what got you. But yes, Wayne Brady, seen here with Phineas and Ferb. It's all full.
My mind was originally going to like Colin Mockery or Ryan Stiles, but I'm like, I don't think
I would have mentioned Brett if it were Colin Mockery. Don't worry.
Yeah.
On this day in 1989, a famous Touchstone picture was released, highly regarded, stars Robin Williams, and still a often talked about movie.
Is it like Good Will Hunting or
before Good Will Hunting?
Dead Poets Society.
Dead Poets Society.
I had a 50-50 shot there. And...
There you go. Pretty good movie.
Yeah, I remember watching that in school.
On this day in 2003, a beloved Disney Channel show aired its last episode. Does that give you anything? 2003?
I'm thinking either Even Stevens or Lizzie McGuire.
Go with your gut. It was Even Stevens.
Okay.
Yes. And finally, on this day in 2011, a new attraction at the Disneyland Resort was celebrated. It was opening. I don't know if this means it was dedicated or its official opening date, but a new attraction at the Disneyland Resort 2011. You and I wrote it during soft opening.
Yeah, Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid, Ariel's Undersea. Ariel's Undersea Adventure.
Yeah, we did the soft opening, and I don't remember us waiting a long time for that. And then we waited. I went with my mom and brother, and we waited like an hour and 45 minutes or something ridiculous, like throughout all of the World of Color viewing area.
I remember seeing pictures of that. But yeah, when you and I did the soft opening, I think maybe we waited 15 minutes, between 15 minutes and a half hour at most. And then, it was crazy. And then, of course, after the 2 weeks, nobody's ever waited more than a half hour ever again.
Well, no, it's bad now in DCA because they added Lightning Lane. So that kind of like artificially bumps up the wait time, and I've seen it get pretty high.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. I will take a quick refresh of the Parks blog just to check and see if anything happened while we've been on the air. Doesn't look like it has. Programming note: you will probably want to subscribe and ring the bell because due to scheduling conflicts, we might have to do the morning show earlier tomorrow. I don't know what time yet, but ring the bell, and then you know when we go live. Or even better, become a member, and then I'll put it in the Discord when I know what time. So, yes, might be early morning show tomorrow. Later today, we will have Parks Talk Live, and then tomorrow, I think they're doing trivia. I already forget. But anyway, that's why you ring the bell. You'll know when we go live. Anything else to add, Luke?
No. Other than that, I think that wraps it about up.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us, and we will see you even sooner than you expect. Bye.